Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. If you are just joining us, you picked the perfect moment because what unfolded on that Dubai hardcourt was not just a tennis match. It was a statement. It was a shift. It was the kind of performance that forces the entire tennis world to sit up, rewind, and ask a very serious question. Are we witnessing the full arrival of a new global force in women's tennis? Tonight was supposed to be a test, a measuring stick, a moment where experience, ranking, and pedigree were expected to stabilize the narrative. Instead, what we witnessed was a young star stepping into the spotlight with zero hesitation and rewriting expectations point by point, game by game, and ultimately set by set. Coming into this clash, the storylines were clear. On one side of the net stood the established elite, a proven performer, a player who had built her reputation on relentless movement, tactical discipline, and the ability to absorb pressure better than almost anyone on tour. On the other side stood hunger, youth, momentum, and perhaps most dangerous of all, belief. From the very first ball, you could feel something different in the air. The warm-up itself carried a strange intensity. There was focus, but there was also an underlying electricity from the crowd. The energy was not nervous. It was expectant, like everyone inside that stadium felt they might be about to witness something special. And then the match began. The opening games told us everything we needed to know about the tone of the night. There was no hesitation, no feeling out phase. Instead, we saw aggressive court positioning immediately. Early ball striking, confidence serving, the kind of tennis you play when you believe you belong exactly where you are. The first break of serve came quickly, and it wasn't a lucky break. It was constructed. Deep returns, heavy forehands pushing the baseline back. Smart shot selection. What stood out most was the clarity of decision-making. There was no panic in extended rallies. Every shot seemed to have purpose. As the first set unfolded, the scoreboard started moving fast. 2-0, then 3-0, and suddenly the favorite was the one searching for answers. The rallies were being controlled from the center of the court. The angles were opening. The serve placement was precise, not just powerful. Wide serves pulled the court open. Body serves jammed movement. And every short ball was punished. By the time the set reached 4-1, the crowd was fully engaged. Every winner produced a roar. Every forced error brought gasps. And the body language told a story just as loudly as the scoreboard. Confidence was flowing on one side. Frustration was slowly building on the other. The first set closed 6-1. And make no mistake, that scoreline was not a fluke. It was dominance. Clean, controlled, fearless dominance. But tennis at this level is never linear. Champions adjust. Elite players find ways to disrupt rhythm. And that is exactly what happened when the second set began. The tempo changed. Suddenly, the rallies got longer. The defensive retrieval improved. The depth of shot improved. The pace variation started creeping in. What had been clean, first-strike tennis turned into physical chess. The second set was where this match transformed from a statement into a battle. Service games became harder to close. Break opportunities started appearing on both sides. And this is where mental strength became the deciding factor. Because when momentum swings, panic is always waiting around the corner. But what stood out was composure. Even when break points appeared, the shot selection stayed disciplined. There was no wild overhitting. Instead, we saw trust in patterns. Heavy cross-court pressure. Smart use of height. Strategic risk only when the court truly opened. At 4-4, you could feel the tension rising inside the stadium. The rallies were brutal. Physical. Grinding. Every point felt like it carried extra weight. Then came the push to 5-5. Then 6-6. And now we were heading into a tiebreak. The ultimate pressure chamber. The place where nerves, execution, and courage all collide. The tiebreak started tight. Many breaks traded, neither player giving an inch. Every rally felt like it could flip the match. The crowd was on edge. The noise between points was electric, but during rallies, pure silence. The kind of silence that only happens when thousands of people are holding their breath at the same time. At 4-4, the tension was almost physical. Then came one of the defining moments of the match. A fearless return winner off a second serve. Not reckless, not lucky, calculated aggression. The kind of shot you only hit when you fully trust your game. From there, the momentum shifted just enough. But closing a match against an elite opponent is never simple. The resistance was fierce. The rallies got longer. The margins got tighter. And at 6-5 in the tiebreak, the pressure was enormous. Then came the final sequence. Deep return, neutral rally, sudden change of direction, and a clean finishing shot that sealed it. 7-6. Match over. Straight sets. 6-1, 7, 6, 5. And just like that, the stadium erupted. What makes this victory so important is not just the result. It's how it happened. The first set showed fearless attacking tennis. The second set showed resilience, patience, and tactical maturity. Winning one way is impressive. Winning multiple ways is what defines contenders. This match proved something bigger than a single scoreline. It showed the ability to handle momentum swings. It showed emotional control under pressure. It showed physical endurance in long rallies. And perhaps most importantly, it showed belief, the kind of belief that cannot be coached or manufactured. Because beating a top opponent is one thing. Doing it while managing expectations, crowd energy, and the weight of opportunity is something else entirely. Tonight felt like a transition moment. The kind of match people look back on and say, that was when everything changed. For the opponent, this was not a collapse. It was a battle. The adjustments were real. The resistance was real. The second set proved why elite players stay at the top. But on this night, it simply was not enough. For the winner, this is more than a victory. This is validation. Validation of training, of sacrifice, of years spent building a game strong enough to survive nights exactly like this. And as the players walked off the court, one thing was clear. The tennis world is watching. The locker room is watching. The rankings are watching. Because performances like this do not disappear quietly. They echo. They shift expectations. And sometimes they signal the beginning of something very, very big. Ladies and gentlemen, if tonight proved anything, it's that the next chapter of women's tennis is not coming someday. It's already here. And if this match was any indication, the future is going to be absolutely electric.